Dear learners, today we are going to discuss the topic on moment of inertia. So this is in engineering mechanics. You have totally 5 chapters. In the third chapter, the second of portion is the moment of inertia. We had already discussed the centroid and center of gravity in the classroom sessions. So today, due to this lockdown situation, I will share the video presentation on topic on moment of inertia. So let's go into this presentation. Okay, moment of inertia. So as I already told you, this is the second of portion of the third chapter. So the outline of this today's talk is moment of inertia. What is moment of inertia? What is the unit for this? And what are the methods to find the moment of inertia? So these are all the topics first I am going to discuss. In the second, theorem of perpendicular axis, and then theorem of parallel axis, and moment of inertia for different sections, how to calculate the moment of inertia for different sections, and finally I am going to summarize all those above 4 things. Right. So first of all, what is moment of inertia? So moment of inertia is a measure of an object resistance to change to its rotation, and also it is defined as the capacity of the cross section to resist bending. Because in your civil engineering structures, we are a lot of structural elements we are using in buildings and other structures. Say example, we can take the beam. Okay, so the strength of the beam is depends upon the moment of inertia of the section. Okay, so we are using different types of sections actually. Basically in buildings we are using rectangular section or square section. Okay, in case of bridges we are using I sections, girder sections, and Y section, and so on. Okay, so why we are not using the circular section as a beam? Okay, the main reason is because of the moment of inertia. Only the rectangular I section, Y section, like that sections we are using. Okay, so this is the that is the meaning of this capacity of the cross section to resist the bending, right? And it must be specified with respect to a chosen axis of the rotation, and usually it is the unit of quantified as in meter power 4 or mm power 4 or centimeter power 4. So how this unit comes, let's look into in the next upcoming slides. Right. Further, we can go into the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia is a product of force and the perpendicular distance between them is known as moment of force or first moment of force. Right. So this moment is again multiplied by perpendicular distance between them to obtain second moment of force. It is called as moment of inertia. We can replace the word force. So here we can replace the word force. You can replace this word by area or mass, right? So this is the word can be replaced by if it is we are replacing the force with area, means area moment of inertia. First, that is the first moment of force. Instead of first moment of force, we can called first moment of area. That is called as centroid. The first moment of area is called as centroid. Centroid. We already studied in the classroom sessions centroid, what is center of gravity, right, and so on. Okay. So in the same way, if we consider the area of the figure, it is called the second moment of area or area moment of inertia. And if we consider the mass of a body, it is called as second moment of mass or mass moment of inertia. So we can replace the word force. That is, instead of force, we can use area or we can use mass. Okay. So then only the term will get different. But Combinedly, it is commonly called as moment of inertia, right? The mass moment of inertia, it is a measure of resistance of the body to rotation and forms basics of dynamics of the rigid bodies. Similarly, the area moment of inertia is the same measure of resistance to bending and forms the basics of strength of materials. Okay. So basically we are going to deal with this area moment of inertia in this particular topic. Right. Now, how to mathematically we can define this moment of inertia. So the moment of force, as I already told you, you can replace the word force with any other term. Area, instead of P, you can replace the word area or mass, right? So the moment of force or moment of area or moment of mass about that point is the product of the force and the perpendicular distance x between the point and the line of action of the force, that is P into x, simply called as P into x. In the momentum, we can call it as moment, force into perpendicular distance. So this moment is also called as moment of force. If it is the area, means first moment of area, that is called as centroid or center of gravity of the section. First moment of area called as, first moment of force called as moment, first moment of area called as centroid, right? So if the moment of, if this moment is again multiplied by the perpendicular distance x between the point and the line of action of the force, that is P into x into x. So P into x is the force into distance x, so which is equal to P into x square. Then this quantity is called as moment of the moment of force or second moment of force or moment of inertia. So it is simply written as MOI or MI. You can written as short form MOI or MI. So symbolically, this moment of inertia written as capital I. So moment of inertia always written as this capital I. The short form of moment of inertia MOI. Sometimes instead of force, that's as I already told you, instead of force you can use area or mass of the figure of the body is taken into consideration. Then the second moment is known as second moment of area or second moment of mass or mass moment of inertia. But all such second moments are broadly termed as moment of inertia. Right. We can move into the next subtopic, moment of inertia of a plane area. Plane area means 2D surface. So now you can consider the plane area whose moment of inertia is required to be found out. Split up the whole area into a small number of small elements. Say you can consider an area, irregular area. You can divide this area into different sections, right? Take an xy axis. So this is x and this is y. Now this is A1, small a1, this is A2, this is A3 and this is A4 and so on. Similarly, the distance from this y axis to the A1 is R1 and this is R2 and R3 and so on. So A1, A2, A3 are the areas of the small elements and R1, R2, R3 corresponding distance of the elements from the line about which the moment of inertia is required to be found out. Okay. So where you are going to, with in what axis you are going to find out the moment of inertia, that is the reference axis. From that you can take the distance of the each and every element of the area, right? So now you can calculate the moment of inertia capital I, which is equal to A1 R1 square. So individual area and individual respective distance plus A2 R2 square and A3 R3 square and so on. So you can sum all this areas and distance, summation of small a into so R square. So A equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 and R square equal to R1 square plus R2 square plus R3 square. So this is the general formula to calculate the moment of inertia, capital I, summation of A R square. If it is A into R means that is the centroid, right? Okay, what is the unit of the moment of inertia? So you can see this formula. What is the unit of area, which is equal to, it may be meter square or mm square, right? And what is the r, this is the distance, r equal to meter or mm, so it is in square, okay, r square. So meter square plus meter square plus meter square, you will get meter power 4, meter power 4. So this is the unit of the moment of inertia. If suppose if you are using the mm, unit mm means mm power 4, or centimeter means centimeter 4. So area meter square and r, 2 times of r is there. So that's why meter square. Okay, so meter power 4. So that is the unit of the moment of inertia. And what are the methods available to find the moment of inertia? Okay, so we have totally 2 methods. Number 1 is the Routh's rule, and another one is the integration method. Okay, so the Routh rule is used for finding the moment of inertia of the plane area or a body of uniform thickness. So basically this Routh rule used for the plane surface, that is laminas, you can use the Routh's rule, okay, for of a uniform thickness, right? First, moment of inertia, how to calculate the moment of inertia by Routh's rule. There is a standard formulas are there. The Routh's rule states, if a body is symmetrical about 3 mutually perpendicular axes, then the moment of inertia about any one of the axes passing through its center of gravity is given by, there are 3 formulas are given. For square and rectangular lamina, you can use this formula, I equal to A into S or M into S by 3. So here M is the mass and A is the area. If it is a mass moment of inertia, you can use M. If it is a area moment of inertia, you can use A. Okay, so this is the formula, A into S by 3 for square and rectangular lamina, and I equal to A into S by 4 or M into S by 4 for circular and elliptical lamina, and for spherical shape A into S by 5 or M into S by 5. So here the term, the last term S, sum of squares of the 2 semi-axes other than the axis about the moment of inertia is required to be found out. So S is the, suppose you have 3 axes, okay, so this is Y and this is Z and this is X. You have 3 axes means in which axis, with respect to which axis you are going to find the moment of inertia. Okay, so you exclude that axis, you can consider these 2 axes, that is the sum of squares of the 2 semi-axes other than the axis about which the moment of inertia is required to be found. That is the meaning of the S. Okay, so you need to take it. Suppose I am going to considering this axis, that is Y axis, you need to summing these 2 axes, that is X and Z axis. That is the meaning of this term S. Okay, and also there is some limitations for using this Routh's method. So this method has only academic importance and is rarely used in the field of science and technology these days. Okay, so this reason for same is that equally convenient to use of the method of integration for the moment of inertia of a body, right? Okay, next we will move into the moment of inertia by integration method. So it is very popular method. Okay, so now you can consider this irregular lamina. Okay, irregular lamina. Okay, so the moment of inertia of any area may also be found out by the method of integration as discussed below. So consider a plane figure whose moment of inertia is required to be found. So this is the X axis XX and this is YY axis. This plane lamina located some coordinates from the XX and YY axis. So from YY axis, the horizontal distance called as X, you can, it is a irregular lamina, you can take a small strip. Okay, for that first you need to calculate the moment of inertia for this small strip. Okay, so for that you can reference of this small strip is in horizontal axis small x and vertical axis from the bottom it is small y. Okay, so this is the small strip, the area of the strip called as dA, dA. Okay, right. So you know x is the distance of center of gravity of the strip on x-axis. Similarly, y is the distance of center of gravity of the strip on y-y axis. Okay. So as we know the area of the that is moment of inertia of the strip, the general formula I equal to, what is the I formula? I equal to summation of area into small a or capital A, area into x or y square. Okay, r square, simply called as r square. So I am applying this formula into this small strip. So which is equal to dA into x square. Why I am putting x square means I have this strip moment of inertia about y-y axis. With reference to this axis, you need to take this distance small x. So this is Iyy of the small strip. So now the moment of inertia of the whole area may be found out by integrating the above equation. You need to integrate this equation, you will get the Iyy equal to summation of dA into x square. Similarly, moment of inertia about x axis, this axis. So summation of dA into y square. With respect to the x axis, you have to substitute y. So please keep in mind, if you are calculating the Iyy means you have to substitute here x opposite. Similarly, Ix means you have to substitute here y opposite to this axis. Okay, so that is the shortcut to memorize, to keep in mind this formula, right? So this is about the moment of inertia by integration, and this is the very simple general thing. Let's move into the next. So there is a two important theorems are there. Number one is theorem of perpendicular axis, and another one is the theorem of parallel axis. Okay, so this theorem of perpendicular axis states if Ix and Iyy be the moment of inertia of the plane section about two perpendicular axes meeting at this point. You can see this figure meeting at point O. This is the x-axis and this is y-axis. This is the third axis, the z-axis. Okay, right. Meeting at point O, the moment of inertia Iz about the axis Z perpendicular to the plane and passing through the intersection of xx and yy. So this Z axis passing through the intersection of xx and yy. Okay. So now here Izz is the sum of Ixx and Iyy. So actually this is the theorem of perpendicular axis. Okay. So how to prove this derivation? Okay. So now for that I am going to consider this small lamina P. Okay, of area dA. Again this small area called as dA, right? dA having coordinates as x and y with respect to the xy coordinates. Okay, with respect to y it is x, with respect to x it is y, right? Along OX and OY. Okay, two mutually perpendicular axes on a plane section as shown in figure. You can see in this figure. Now you can consider a plane OZ, the third axis OZ, perpendicular to OX and OY, right? So let the R is the resultant of these x and y, right? Resultant of these x and y, distance of lamina P from Z axis, okay, such that OP is the R. From the geometry of the figure, we can find the R square equal to x square plus y square, right? Now, so we know that moment of inertia of lamina P about xx axis. So you know the general formula Ix is equal to dA into y square. So here moment of inertia equal to area into distance square, right? Similarly, Iyy equal to dA into x square. So dA, this is the dA area into Iyy equal to dA into x square, Ixx equal to dA into y square, right? Now Izz, you know the formula Ixx plus Iyy. Okay, so I am substituting these two values here. Okay, so dA into x square plus y square, right? So x square plus y square called as r square, right? X square plus y square called as, so here see here, x square plus y square called as R square. Okay. So now you can multiply this dA inside the bracket dA into x square plus dA into y square, so which is equal to ixx plus iy. So this is the all about the theorem of perpendicular axis. Okay.